Coach, just overall thoughts about how the game went. Obviously, you guys cut it to 9 at halftime, and then it just felt like, the second half was a lot of New Paltz making some shots down the stretch. Just overall thoughts on how the game just transpired.
Yeah, we went in the locker room and we just talked about how proud we were of their fight. It's New Paltz came out and shot 50% from the arc in the first quarter, and then they cooled off a bit, which is why we were able to cut it to 9. And we went into halftime just talking about you just got to chip away. You got to get defensive stops. You got to chip away and get some scores, and you got to not let people who shoot the ball really well get open looks. And we went away from that a little bit in the first quarter, and they hit them. They knocked them down. We made some adjustments. We cut it to 9. And, New Paltz does such a good job coming out of the locker room hot. And we just said you just got to withstand that storm for the first 3 to 4 minutes, and then things will start to level out again. And, we gave up some transition buckets early in the third quarter that, they're so good in transition. Bree is so good in transition. You've got Jenny who can knock down shots on the perimeter. And, it's a huge kudos to them. They ended up shooting 47% from the floor. It's really hard to beat a team who shoots that well. Our goals were, if you can keep it under 20 turnovers, which we did, 18. If you can out-rebound them, which we did by 8. And if you can keep them, around 60 points, then you give yourself a legit shot. And it was that last piece we were missing because they shot the ball really well, and you just got to give credit to them. That's just how basketball goes sometimes.
Yeah, Lauren, you're dominant again in the paint, having 16 rebounds, but couldn't offensively was limited to 7 points. What did New Paltz do to just make it difficult to kind of find a groove offensively, underneath the basket?
New Paltz does a great job, having bodies on me and limiting my ability to get the ball where I want it to. We really tried to get me to post up and get the ball, but unfortunately there wasn't that many opportunities to do so, and when I did, I had a lot of arms all around me, which allowed for some turnovers that weren't necessary, but overall they do a great job putting pressure on the inside, which is where my game mostly is.
Okay. And then Kerry, you had a solid game tonight. What is your just overall thoughts in that piece in that second quarter? What allowed you to kind of make the game close? What were you guys doing well to kind of get it to single digits again?
We said that they're really great shooters. We have to get a hand up. They shot so well in the first quarter, so that was one of our keys going to second quarter. Like, they can't shoot 50% the whole game, so really just pressure them, have each other's back, and help defense. The thing for me was they were pressuring Lauren so much, so I knew I had to step up offensively on that, so I did as much as I can attacking the paint and trying to get us going offensively.
And Coach, just overall thoughts on how the season went and kind of an outlook, going into next year, hopefully, building on this experience moving forward. I know you get Kerry back. I don't know if we're taking the 5th year, but looking just into the future for Geneseo basketball.
Yeah, that was something we also talked about in the locker room, how, we ended this year 19-8, brought back most of the team from a 17-10 season last year, and last year we had 8 newcomers, so we had to start all over, and that was a tough year for us, and we somehow figured out 17 wins, and we knew we had a really good base moving into this year and a really good core, and we also knew that the rest of the conference had a really good core too, so it was going to be a tough year. But I think, this year the difference was they figured out how to be basketball players. It's hard to come in and learn a new system offensively, defensively, and also just play basketball. There's so many thoughts that go through their mind, and this year they really got to settle into that, and I really felt like we were playing really good basketball in February, which was just our goal, that you just have to peak at the right time in order to put yourself in a position to be successful at the end of February. And as we're losing Lauren at graduation, she's choosing the real world. That is her own decision, but we have a couple of our seniors coming back, couple graduating, couple good incomers coming in. I think we're in a good position to continue to be successful, and a good next step for us is to start beating those teams that are a little bit better than us in terms of records and rankings, because 7 of our 8 losses this year were to regionally ranked teams, and while that is a 19-8 record is incredible. We got to start beating those teams, and that comes with veteran experience. It comes with cleaning up our system and figuring things out. But that's a good next step for us, and I'm confident in my ability to get them there, and I'm confident in their ability to be coachable and also get themselves and their teammates there.
Any final thoughts?
I just want to say, thanks to our seniors. Lauren's had a great career from freshman year to senior year, has grown so much. We can always say that about many seniors is you probably can't recognize yourself as a freshman, but her game has evolved. She's put in so much work in the weight room, in terms of leadership, and she really was an extension of myself in the locker room, which you just don't find a lot of times in players and in good leaders. So while she had a great career on the floor, she is all set to go in the real world, and will do great things.
Yeah, Lauren, as your career comes to a close, you had an incredible season. What would you share thoughts about playing for Geneseo throughout these years?
I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have played for such an amazing team that is now an extended family, and I'll remember these times here for the rest of my life. And I'm so grateful to have played under a head coach like Coach Poe, who has taught me how to be a female in athletics, which is my goal to do so in the future, and I'll aspire to be like her in the future.